The coping habits that high performers don't talk about. You might not call it a problem, but you probably know the things you do when you need to switch off. Maybe you throw yourself into work because staying busy feels easier than slowing down. Maybe you constantly fill your time because quiet moments bring thoughts that you would rather avoid. Maybe you rely on certain habits at the end of a difficult day because they help you to feel calmer for a little while. Like having that one glass of wine, having that one beer. And from the outside, it might look like, just being productive. It could look like you are successful. It could look like you're responsible. It could look like you're getting things done. But underneath that, there may be a part of you that is exhausted from always being switched on. Hi, I'm Cheryl, an anxiety therapist and the creator of the Heart to Heal method. I help high-functioning professionals and individuals understand the emotional patterns, stress responses, and internal pressures that shape the way that you think, feel, and respond. My work is about helping people move from constantly managing pressure on the outside to creating greater calm, clarity, and resilience on the inside. Through the Hard to Heal method, we look beyond the behaviour itself and explore what is happening underneath. Because often the thing we use to cope is not the real issue. It is a sign that something deeper needs attention. You might recognise this, okay? You finish a demanding day and realise that you've been holding everything together for hours. You might have been making phone calls, you might have been in meetings, you might have been making decisions. You've got all of the responsibility. You've got all of the expectations and the pressure to perform. And when that day finally comes to an end, especially if you're working from home, you do not necessarily know how to switch off. So you'll reach for something that gives you a break. Now, that might be that you reach out and do more work. Again, especially if you're working from home, you'll reach out and look for any sort of a distraction. You'll look for more stimulation. You will look for anything that stops your mind from racing. And for a really short period of time, that works. But the pressure underneath that hasn't really gone away. The truth is, many of these behaviours are not signs of weakness. They are often signs of a system that has been under sustained pressure. When your mind and body has been operating in high alert mode for a long time, they naturally look for ways to create relief. Because all your brain wants to do is try to protect you. So it'll start looking for ways to reduce stress and escape uncomfortable emotions, or even try to create moments of calm. But the problem is, it's not that you need to find ways to cope. The problem comes when coping becomes the only way that you know how to manage that pressure. Many high-performing people become experts at pushing through. They are the person that other people rely on. The person that stays calm when everybody else is running around like a headless chicken. The person who will find a solution to problems. And the person that just keeps going. But sometimes the same qualities that help you to succeed can make it harder for you to recognise when you need support. You can become so focused on managing everything around you that you stop noticing what is happening inside of you. And eventually, the cost of constantly holding everything together begins to show. Things start to crack. The Hard to Heal approach is not about judging the way you learn to cope. It's about understanding these ways that you cope. It's, instead of you asking, why do I keep doing this? We can start to ask the question, what pressure am I trying to manage? What emotions am I trying not to feel? What does my system actually need? Because your behaviours are often carrying that information. They are showing you where there is stress and emotional loads and unmet needs. Through awareness, emotional regulation, and healthier strategies, you can begin to respond in a completely different way. Through this work, you can begin to recognise your patterns before they take over, create healthier ways to recover from pressure, feel more in control of your responses, developing a stronger relationship with yourself, and build resilience without constantly running on empty. The goal here isn't to remove any of your ambitions, and it isn't to become a less driven person. It's about you creating a way of succeeding that doesn't come at the expense of your well-being. So it doesn't come at a cost. If this video made you reflect on the ways you manage pressure, I hope it helped you to look at yourself with a little bit more understanding and a little less judgment. Because sometimes the things that we use to cope are simply signs that something deeper needs attention. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and follow along for more conversations about anxiety, emotional well-being, and the hidden pattern that shapes how we think, feel, and perform. And remember, your time to shine starts from within. Thank you for watching. I shall see you all again soon. Bye for now.